Hi there, I'm Dr. Jim with Vintage Heights Veterinary Hospital, and today we're going to talk about canine spaying and canine neutering.
Dr. Jim, what is the difference between spaying and neutering?
Neutering is the removal of a male dog's testicles, and spaying is removal of the female dog's uterus and ovaries. Now, a little bit of the uterus is left, but 95% of it is removed along with the ovaries.
At what age should I spay and neuter my dog?
It varies depending on what breed you have. Small dogs can be neutered or spayed at around 5 or 6 months, but giant breed dogs, usually more around a year to even sometimes a year and a half. So a kind of general rule of thumb is between 6 and 8 months of age.
What are the health benefits of spaying and neutering my dog?
Well, if you spay a female dog, you will have no issues with going into heat. You'll have less issues or about a 50% reduction in mammary cancer. As far as male dogs, you won't have the urine marking and roaming, seeking a female in heat, and it also reduces the tendency to be more aggressive.
Are there any reasons not to spay or neuter your dog?
Obviously, if you're going to use your dog for breeding, that would be the main reason. However, there are a lot of unwanted puppies at various shelters, and so we tend to try not to encourage that. But that would be the only main reason that I could think of.
Are there any risks associated with spaying and neutering?
Well, it's a surgery. And so anytime you have a surgery and anesthesia, there are things or complications that can occur. But the analogy that I give a lot of times is it's kind of like driving your car. You get from point A to point B 99% of the time, but occasionally you'll have a flat tire or you get into an accident. And so that can happen too with a spay or a neuter, but those are very rare.
How should I prepare my dog for the spaying and neutering procedure?
Well, it's very similar to what you would undergo if you were going to have surgery the next day yourself. The morning of, we want you to not offer food or water, and usually we have you even withhold food and water about the time you go to bed, sometime between 10 p.m. and midnight the night before. Let your dog out to go to the bathroom, and then we ask that you bring them in at a certain time. There's some paperwork for you to sign, and then they'll go home later that same day.
What should I expect on the day of surgery?
Well, as I say, you're going to drop them off early in the morning, sometime between 7:30 and 8. There's a little bit of paperwork that we've gone over that you have to sign, and there's a phone number where we can get a hold of you. And we'll generally do the procedure in the morning, and again, they go home usually between 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We do want you to kind of keep them still and calm for a few days post-op, just like if you had undergone surgery. Want things to heal before they start chasing a ball or running after a rabbit.
How long does the spaying or neutering procedure take?
It varies on the size of the dog. A small dog, small cat, can take about 15 to 20 minutes. A larger dog, depending on whether it's a neuter or a spay, can take anywhere from 30 minutes to sometimes an hour. Again, most of the time it's a 20 to 30 minute procedure.
What is the recovery process like for my dog?
Like I say, after either one, we want you to limit their activity for about 5 to 7 days. Again, it varies on the size of the dog. Smaller dogs tend to put less stress on the incision, and so usually it's about 5 days, whereas bigger dogs, it's usually more about a week.
Will spaying or neutering affect my dog's behavior?
Again, for a male dog, it will certainly reduce tendency to be aggression, territoriality, things like that, and urine marking. And as far as a female, again, you won't have male dogs coming around that you've never seen before when they go into heat. And going into heat for a female dog can be sometimes messy. They do spot in the first part of their heat cycle, and a lot of people don't care for that.
Can a pregnant dog be spayed?
They can. Sometimes it's a medical necessity, like associated with a C-section, but we tend to try and discourage that. If we do have a pregnant dog, a lot of times we want to try and let them have the puppies to term, and then again they can be placed up for adoption at the Humane Society, and then we get the dog spayed.
Will spaying or neutering my dog cause weight gain?
In general, no. In some larger breeds of dogs, the hormones can affect or reduce the appetite, but that's not very common. It's usually more a combination of as dogs age, they get a little bit more sedentary, and then you have to cut back on the food and so forth. So as far as a general rule of thumb, no, but again, for larger dogs, occasionally that can be true. Thank you. I hope you found this useful, and have a good day. If you have questions, give us a call, 402-489-0501.